All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our daily huddle. It's Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday, July something F. So we are, today we are going to launch one of the things that we've been talking about here, which is our Hawaii Coaching Club call. And it's something that we're going to be doing in, kind of in addition to our daily huddle here, it's kind of an add-on to our Wednesdays. So instead of us taking out another section of our day here in the mornings, what we're going to be doing is we're actually just going to be piggybacking it on the top of the huddle here on Wednesdays. So 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're going to be doing this huddle. And at 9 a.m., we're going to be doing on a weekly basis here our Hawaii Coaching Club call. Now, I want to make sure you guys understand this is not a call that's really for the, I'm just thinking about it. Pretty sure I want to qualify. This is really for those that are saying, look, I'm going to be in Hawaii. I'm going to make it happen and I'm going to get it done no matter what. So we're going to talk a little bit about that later. So for those of you guys that want to participate in that and get that out, we're going to create a flyer for it. And we're going to have people that are going to start participating for next week. Okay. Now, today I'm going to get you prepped for what is going to be required, how that's going to work, and we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. But really kind of moving that into the kind of the same process here of talking about accountability and goal setting. So one of the most powerful things that I found is when you start tracking, when you start looking at things inside of your business and start tracking and seeing what it is that you need to do in order to accomplish whatever goal that it is, and start chunking things down. And one of the things that you is with your any of your ranks. This is not just with your ranks. This can be with literally any. That's weird. I'm getting feedback, but it says you're all muted. So strange. Is that me? No, maybe it's just me. So when you're chunking down any of your goals. So good example here. So let's take a look at our Hawaii. How many of you guys are like, listen, I am qualifying for Hawaii? How many guys are coming to Hawaii with us? Right. So I want you to drop me in the comment saying, I am going to Hawaii. I'm going to Hawaii. I'm going to Hawaii. I'm going to Hawaii. I'm going to Hawaii. Hawaii, Hawaii, Hawaii. Okay. So now, so in this, what you want to be doing is look inside of your back office here real quick. All right. So looking. So when you look inside your back office, if you go to the promotions tab, right? And when you go to the promotions tab, you can scroll down here and you're going to be able to see the Hawaii document, right? So this is how to qualify for Hawaii and the points and how you earn those points. We've already done a few calls on this, so hopefully you guys are up to speed on this particular document. But a couple of things here that are really important. There's different ways you earn points. You earn points for your total personal qualifying volume. This is from what you buy. This is what from your customers buy. All right. So your new rank advancements. So guys, if you haven't already decided to kind of go all in with us and get our professional or have it all package and get that, I want you guys to understand that's 2,000 in QV. So that's already 20 points towards qualifying for your trip, which is pretty cool. So when you really think about that, outside of that, new rank advancements, it's going to get you points. You're maintaining a rank above silver is going to get you points, but the big kahuna is this one right here, which is moving new agents through the missions. When you move a new agent to mission 1, mission 2, and mission 3, you're going to get that 5, 8, and 12 for added up a total of 25 points per agent that you help get to mission 3. So that would be the focus that I would go, okay, what is the fastest, simplest way? So a combination of my own volume and my own customers and getting people to mission 3. So how we're going to do this, and I want to walk you guys through how we're going to be doing our coaching club call, which is going to be dedicated specifically on qualifying and what to focus on in order to go out there and earn those points to get you to Hawaii. So if you haven't printed this off, print this off, put it on your board, write it on your whiteboard, being like Maui, Hawaii, 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 whatever you got anywhere. Put it on your screensaver, put it as a backdrop. Don't leave it out of sight, out of mind. So what you want to do is we want to be focusing on what we're doing to get our points here on a regular basis, on a daily basis. So getting those sponsors, getting those recruits, and helping them move through the missions, especially with their Discover program, is going to be really, really, really important. Now, inside, oh, no, I didn't mean to unshare that. I meant to keep sharing that. Go back. Come. So I want to close that tab. That's what I want to do. All right. Now, how we're going to be tracking this is basically from the front page. So when you go to the front page of your back office and you scroll down, you're going to see that little banner that says Secret Hawaii Agent Destination 2021. When you click on that banner, it's going to pull up your tracking sheet, and it's going to pull up needed to qualify. So what's your qualifying TPQV? And then it's going to show you your points earned, right? So from points earned, we're going to focus on this right now and focusing on this, you're going to get to that 2,000 from what you purchase and what your agents purchase. Because if you're helping a new agent get to mission 1, mission 2, mission 3, you're going to be getting over that 1,000. If you're just purchasing the products and you have a customer or two, you're going to be getting that as well. So we're going to focus on the earned points required to get you to the trip. Now, the first tier is 150. The second is 180 points. The third is 220 points to earn your trip based on trip for one with airfare, trip for 2 with airfare with your vouchers. Now, the tracking details you can see here, but we're going to focus on how many points you have and how many points you need and what your goal is. So on a weekly basis, how this is going to work, it's really simple. Okay, what we're going to be doing is all of you are going to be participating. So this is not I can just listen in and I'm not saying anything. If you're going to be a part of our Hawaii Coaching Club call, every single person on there is going to be sharing their numbers, and they're going to be sharing their goals for the week, and they're going to be reporting on what happened on the week before. So I'm going to walk you through how that's going to work here. And for those of you guys that want to choose to participate with that, as we come to a close of this huddle call, we're going to be starting that here today. But today is kind of really a practice and a prep for next week. And we're going to show you guys how that works. You guys are willing to be the ones that are going to help us lead that call. So individually, we're going to call on each of you. And what you're going to do is you're going to be giving today, the first goal you're going to be doing is your goal, how many points you have currently, and what your goal for next Wednesday is. So how many points do you currently have? So when you log in, so if you haven't done this, you want to do this right now. Log into your back office, log in on your phone. If you can, you should be still able to hear me through Zoom. When you log in and click on this, and it's going to pull this up, and you're going to go, okay, I have a total of 6 points, whatever you have right now, okay? My goal for next week is X, and you're going to share your goal for next week. Whatever that number is, it could be 10, it could be 15, it could be 19. And what's going to happen is we're going to start thinking, and now I want you guys to give a goal. And when you're giving a goal, I don't want you to just throw something meaningless out there because you think it sounds good, or you think it's what I want to hear, or it's what, Ruth or Trish wants to hear. I want you to really think about, okay, all right, if I'm going to go out there, I want to get 8 new points. That means I got to get a new agent to mission 1. Okay, well, do I have an agent to get to mission 1? No. Okay, I got to find a mission agent. Who's going to be my agent? Okay, so these are the questions as we start diving in to the goal setting process, is not just throwing something out there, but really dissecting, what do I need in order to accomplish this goal? These things are what's going to happen. It's very important on a weekly basis, and we're going to report in next week. Next week, when you share with us your numbers, what you're going to basically do is very simple. So I'm going to pick on Angela right now. Okay. So if I pick on Angela and she's on the coaching club, because I have a feeling she's going to do this. And she's going to basically say, let's say today her points are at, actually, do you know your numbers right now, Angela? I don't know if you know. So unmute with me. So talk to me, girl. All right. So
yeah, I have a whole whopping 1 point.
Perfect. So, all right. So this is where we're going to focus, because out of sight, out of mind, we're going to focus hard on this over the course of these weeks to come, because I don't want us to be 3 months into this competition and go, oh crap, I wasn't really paying attention, because that makes it much more difficult to qualify in the last couple of months. So, so basically it's very simple. You're going to say, so, I currently have how many points? I currently have how many points, and your goal for next week. So what is your goal on the spot? You like this? So what is your goal for next week? How many points for your trip would you like to have as a goal that you're planning on working towards this week?
Well, I've actually broken down some things, and I'm working on some things that'll bring points later on, like in the next 6 weeks.
Yep.
So I'm not going to set it unreasonably. I'm going to say maybe 1-2 points next week.
2 points. Okay, cool. So, and this is great. So this is where you're starting to think. You're starting to dissolve. Okay, how many points? What do I need? Okay, maybe I'm not going to get someone to mission 1, but that'll be by, through whatever that is. But it's starting to really focus on what do I need. So right now, Angela's perfect. I got 1 point. My goal for next week is 2 points. So my goal for next week is to have a total of 3. So what we're looking for is what's the total. So my goal currently, and my what I plan on having at the end of by the call next week. Now, this next Wednesday, when we get on this call, how this is going to work is very simple. Okay, so we're going to go through each person individually, and each person individually is going to basically say, here's what I said I was going to. Here's what my goal for last week. Here's where I'm currently at now, and here's my goal for next week. It's literally just 3 numbers. So my goal was to be at 3. So next Wednesday, we're gonna hop on here, and so Angela's gonna be like, my goal for this week was 3 points. I'm currently at 3 points, or I'm 2 points, or I'm still at 1 point, whatever it is. Okay. But what we're gonna be doing is we're not going to be making a story about it. This is the big difference when I find out from people that go out there and set and achieve goals. Look, there's kind of like any excuse will do. Like, the screen door came off, like we ran out of peanut butter. And we ran out of peanut butter. I mean, just like as an excuse. And the reason why is because that's an actual excuse I got from somebody about 15 years ago as to why they didn't make it to the meeting they said they were going to make it to. So I had somebody that was coming to a presentation. This person said they wanted a better quality of life. They were open to an opportunity, and they didn't show. They were a no-show. I'm sure you guys, if you remember inviting people to events back when we used to have those, people wouldn't show up. And he said, I talked to him. He was like, what happened to you? And he was like, I'm sorry, I couldn't make it. I ran out of peanut butter. That was the excuse. And for the rest of my life, I'm going to use that as the generic any excuse will do. Running out of peanut butter, valid excuse for not showing up, right? So when it comes to it, we're not going to be doing I said I was going to do, and then I didn't, and then this person, they were going to buy, and then they didn't buy, and it was going to get them to mission 1 and 2, so I should have had all of that story that we put around the numbers, all right? They are just filler for what is actually happening inside of our business. And so what we want to focus on is strictly the numbers, no stories. There's no attachment to this stuff. So it's I said I would be at 3 points. I'm at 2 points. Next week, my goal is 7 points. And what we're doing is just getting rid of everything else in between. So, and then what we're doing is going, okay, what are my goals for the weeks? Now, for some of you guys, this is going to start putting a little bit of pressure. And it's designed to. That's what accountability is designed to do, is push you outside of your existing comfort zone and stretch you and start to think about, okay, well, what do I need? What's required? And then what happens is each time on a weekly basis, as we start diving into this, what we'll do is our goal here is to start to shorten your performance gap. Your performance gap is the difference between what you said you would accomplish and what you actually accomplished. So I said I would do 5 points this week. I did 3. Your gap would be 2. So the goal is to start looking at that. Now, this isn't about perfection. This is about progress and learning how to be able to set, monitor, and track activity so you can see, okay, all right, I'm looking for a result. What activities are going to be required in order for me to get those results and get them on a consistent basis? Because remember, inside of our business, activity is where it's going to start. The activities is what produces the results. But then at a point, you need to learn how to execute on those activities, because the execution is really where you're going to find your income start to develop, because now you know that not only can you do the right activities, but you can generate results from those activities. So does anybody have any questions about any of that stuff that we had just covered? Okay. So pretty self-explanatory. Okay. And getting to Hawaii. So what we want to make sure we do is really, really, really important. Okay. So, and making sure that we get everybody. So if you are wanting to participate in this, we're going to start here in just a few minutes. If you don't want to participate in being accountable with this, then you are more than welcome to just drop off, and just say, look, I just want to be here. I like the morning huddles. You say funny stuff. I think it's good for my soul. But I'm not ready to be on the field. I'm still participating in the stands slightly, right? Okay. And if that's where your choice is, fantastic. I love you, and I'm happy that you're here. But this particular call that we're going to be doing here at 9 o'clock on Wednesdays, 9 a.m. Wednesdays, is going to be for those that want to be held accountable. They want to be kind of, they're not looking to hide behind a computer screen. They're looking to go, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to get this thing done, and we're going to make it happen. So when we're going back to our goal setting process of chunking things down, here's one of the things that really helped me is learning how to take a goal and move it from months to weeks to daily activities. Okay. So take a look at any goal. So with this particular goal, we need a set number of points. So if we need 150 points and we have X number of weeks to qualify or X number of months to qualify, what I want to start doing is chunking down how many points per month would I need to qualify. Number one. The second thing is, okay, well, how many points per week would I need to qualify? Okay, how many points per day would that be? So if I start looking at any type of goal of what is required on a monthly, a weekly, a daily basis, okay? So you need 9 points per week to qualify. See, it's perfect. So if we're looking at that. Now, it's okay to have a bad week, so to speak, but you can't have a bad month. That's how I always look at my goals is it's okay to kind of fudge a week, but it's real difficult to fudge a whole month and be able to make up for that on the back end. All right. But with the mission qualifiers of helping people accomplish mission 1, mission 2, mission 3, you can go get this done. So the cutoff for the qualification is November 16th. Okay. Now, what this is going is we are going to be launching on August 8th, which is going to coming up here very quickly here. A few weeks from now, we're going to be launching things that are going to dramatically help you qualify for the Hawaii destination trip. I can tell you that for sure. Now, right now with our Discover program, the more people you're getting in with the Discover program, remember they have 7 weeks to qualify for mission 1, mission 2, mission 3. And I can tell you a lot of the things that are going to be dropped on August 8th are going to dramatically help any of your Discover Secret agents that are coming in now qualify for mission 1, 2, and 3. That's going to help you get those points to get you to that 150, 180, or that 220, which of course we want everybody to bring somebody you love, or I don't know, somebody you want to love. Could be, I mean, it's Hawaii, right? So, you know, there's a little like the aloha spirit or whatever that is. But when it starts on this, okay, is looking at my my funnel. So from a recruiting standpoint, I want to talk about this for a little bit, and then we'll kind of end this call, and then we'll start our accountability call. Is I'm always looking at who's in my pipeline, who's kind of in play. So I want you to write this down, kind of 10 in play. At a minimum, I've always been taught that if you want to be a kind of a top recruiter, a consistent recruiter, is to have at least 10 people that are in play. Now, 10 people, what does that mean? Those are 10 people that are evaluating a decision between yes and no. They're not a no, they're not a maybe later. They're not a maybe later. That's a no for now. Okay, they are evaluating and making a decision whether or not it's yes or no. Okay, so I have that right now. So a good example, Tricia introduced me yesterday to a woman who she is exposing to the world of Seacret. We got a chance to kind of swap stories, and then we showed her some of the compensation plan. So I did a presentation yesterday. Actually, I did like I did five Zoom presentations just yesterday. And all of them were now people that are in between a yes and a no. One of them, for sure, no. Okay. So he is no longer in play. Okay. So because he told me, nah, it's not for me, or it's not right now. What we're looking for is to have a group of people that's consistently in between yes and no. When someone says yes, they're no longer in play because they're in now. So the way that I looked at this is almost kind of like a sports analogy. All right. And for those of you guys that have played baseball or know, how many guys have seen baseball? So if you've never played baseball, I'm sure you've seen it. It's a sport. A lot of people play. And what happens is that there's bases, okay? And for those of you guys that know, you start at home base and you go up, and the goal is to hit the ball and to get on base. Now, it's not just to get on base, to get to first base. There's first base, there's second base, there's third base, and then there's home. The goal is to get home because that's how you score a point for your team. So what I always looked at was that recruiting was really a process of kind of taking people through these bases, taking them from base 1 to base 2 to base 3 to base 4. And I love how Ruth and Trish talk about this is recruiting is developing a relationship. It's a process. It doesn't happen in a day, right? It's not like you meet somebody, all right? And it's not like, let's say relationships, right? Let's say the end goal is you want to be married and live happily ever after. The day you meet somebody, you know, on date 1, you're not like, so you want to do this? Like, I'm ready. Let's get married. And people are like, whoa, you're weird, right? So that's a little too fast. So what we're looking to do is kind of round the bases here. I'm not trying to hit. Now, every once in a while, I'll let you guys know, you'll meet somebody and it is just like a home run and you hit that thing out of the park. But those are not that common. It's much more common to get on first base. So, okay. And to get on first base when I do this process is starting the relationship, starting the conversation. It's kind of like, it's almost like your first exposure, second exposure, third exposure, fourth exposure for somebody to decide whether or not they want to continue on this path with us, right? So in your list, what I want you to do is I want you to make, okay, a in-play list. Now, for those of you guys that are constantly looking to sponsor and recruit, is I want you to make a list right now. And I want you to make a list of who are the people in your list that are quote unquote in play, meaning they're on base. They've seen some information. They haven't said no, and they haven't said yes. They're in between that. And so then the question is what do you need to do to get to the next area? Now, if I don't know, I love asking. Here's one of my favorite questions to ask somebody to help them round the bases or decide to get off the field. Because kind of for me, I don't really care if it's a yes or a no. I just want to get to one of them quickly. Okay. So either we're going to first base and then from first, we're going to second base or you're out. That's what's happening. Like staying on first base is just like, it's torture. You know, and how many of you guys have had people where you're like, what do I do with this person? What are they? Are they in? Are they out? Are they interested? Are they not interested? Are they, what's going on? And there's just like this awkward weirdness. And then you call your sponsor and you're like, what do I do? And they're like, I don't know. And then there's all of that in between. So to kind of cut the fluff on that is it's okay to ask a direct question. So I say, listen, okay, is what would you need or what would you have to happen or what information would you need in order for you to get started? That's a question I love asking people. So what would have to happen or what would you need or what would you need to know in order to get started? A lot of times it's not what I think. I'm so wrong most of the time when it comes to this. Somebody says, well, I just need till Friday. And here I was thinking for like 6 days straight, they need to understand the comp plan more. They need a better game plan, a strategy. They're, it's a money, and really all it was they needed till Friday and I didn't know, right? So, or I need to talk with my spouse or I need to whatever it is and finding out what is required to get them to the second step. For me, it's always just about forward moving progress. So, and if it's not now, it's out, but I'm kind of like, look, let's either move you forward or move you out. It's one of the two. So, and if you want to be on the sidelines, that's cool. We can put you back on base anytime you want. Okay. So I always looked at people from a standpoint of going, okay, how do I sort through this? So how many people do you have that are quote unquote in play? Now, for those that some of my sponsors or some of my mentors that were just absolute insane recruiters. I mean, these guys that were recruiting 10 people a month consistently for years. And I was like, how do you do that? And they were like, it's very simple, Jess. You have 10 in play. I have 100 in play. And I was like, 100. And they were like, yeah. And he was like, what I'm doing is every single day, my goal is to contact 10 new people and put them in play. Now, it was much more difficult for these guys to develop relationships, but they were really big recruiters. Now, I'm not saying you need 100 in play in order to be effective in today's times, because I don't think you need to be, okay? But I want you to understand that part of it is just simply a numbers game. Here's what I have found. The more people you have in play, the more posture you have when you're following up. I want you to have so many people that are in play, connected information, learning information, looking at information. You forget to follow up with interested people. That's when the game changes for you. When all of a sudden you're not hanging on to that one or two people that are trying to figure out if they want to be successful or they're thinking about doing it. And you have this kind of like almost needy type of feeling and or mentality. I don't know if you guys, this is usually comes across on people, right? Where they know that you're like waiting on them to do the business. Here's when I started recruiting tons of people. When people could easily tell I did not need them to join my business. Like I wasn't in need. Now I needed people. I just didn't need specifically them. So what ended up usually moving through this was the process of putting more people in play. So I looked at it as just, I had this box. Now we have apps and phones and stuff nowadays. But back in the day when I started my network marketing career, I had this box. And you guys have probably all heard this, fortune is in the follow-up, right? So fortune is in the follow-up. I had this box. And every person I started getting in communication with, what we would do is I would make an index card. And on that index card, I would write their name and I would write where in the exposure process they were. Right? What had they seen? When did I follow up? And in the box, I had this box. I called it Fort Knox in a box because there's gold in Fort Knox and there's gold in this follow-up box. And what I would do for every contact is I would have the days of the week and the months of the year. Right? So this is super old school, by the way. All right. And so what happened is every day I would pull up my box and somebody says, follow up with me next week. I would put them in next week and I would set it and forget it. I wouldn't think about them. And then what I would do is next week, when I got to that spot, I wasn't trying to remember hundreds of people's information or contacts. I was just trying to remember the people I had to follow up with that day that told me to follow up with them. Right. And so kind of set it and forget it. And I would follow up. And my goal was to add new people in my box, and everybody in my box were people that were in play. They were in between yes and no. And so the reason why I totally gamified this is looking like, remember how I do the deck of cards? So the deck of cards, these index cards, each person, it was just a card. It was just a card. Now this was a person, excuse me, that I was creating a relationship with on this card, but it was almost like this fun game. It was like every time I would call it, my goal was to put people in the box and my goal was to take people out of the box. And I took people out of the box and I had an extra box, which was a follow up and, you know, like not now, not for me now, or not interested. And my fun one was like not interested. And I had like heck no, and I had like hell no, and I had like don't ever call me again box. Right. And my favorite thing that I show people was this. It was like taking people out of my box that were no's was like it was like freeing. It was like, oh, thank God I don't have to follow up with this guy anymore. So because that was the game, it was just follow up through this process and gamifying it, going, okay, putting people through this process. Now, what started happening is in the beginning, when you only have a couple people in your box, there's this scarcity mentality. Okay. There's this like, well, what if Angela doesn't get it? And what if Sam doesn't understand it? I don't have anyone else in the box. I don't have anyone else to follow up with. But when I started having so many people to follow up with, all of a sudden people started joining left and right because they understood that, look, wow, something's going on. This guy. So there was no scarcity mentality. And that's the thing I want you guys to understand. There's an abundance of people to join. You guys know that about 50,000 people join network marketing every week here, just in North America. 50,000 people a week. And most of them join something stupid. You guys know that, right? Like most of them joined a stupid company. Like they did. They joined a stupid company. Most of them joined companies that have really terrible products. Most of them joined a company that has no system. They got signed up by a friend and was like, you want to do this? They were like, all right. Like that was the pitch. The pitch was, let's go. There wasn't any, there's no system. There's no team truth. There's no attraction marketing system. There's no Facebook groups. There's none of that stuff. They're getting into all, people are looking right now. So I just want you guys to get out there and thinking about, okay, who do I got in play? Why? We want to have more people that are in play because that means there's more people rounding the bases to get to home. Because the more people that are coming in that you can move through mission 1, mission 2, mission 3 is going to help you qualify for Hawaii. Okay, so that's what we're going to be focused on. That's it for today. So I am going to stop this recording. So stop.